When I first came home from the hospital,
It was a trailer home in a place called Blooming Grove, Texas,
I went through a really bad depression.
where Wendy Adkins first
Use
showed
my
me
upper arms and my body strength to twist the cap.
how cruel
Upside down with my teeth.
life can sometimes be.
That's how I make my water. Simple enough.
A surgical procedure to help reduce migraines
October 2019 is when I got sick.
brought an infection 2 weeks later.
One of the sutures tested positive for strep.
Toxic shock, a medically induced coma. Surgeons did save her life,
I woke up and this is what I see.
but at the cost of losing her withering hands and feet.
They did all 4 amputations at once. And all those clicks means it's on and it's secure.
The reason for this conversation 1 year ago was that this was all her insurance would pay for. Hands that pinch and clamp.
That's all it does.
Nothing more.
I just
Wendy wanted so much more.
I just want to feel normal again, you know? I want to... Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I mean, it's that simple, wanting to feel normal, right?
You know, I know I'm never going to be normal, but just having the ability to do things that everybody else can do.
That was 1 year ago. This time, I found her in Corsicana,
I'm just literally taking it day by day.
where life had thrown another uppercut.
And then, you know, I got sick and distance just happens.
A
And
new apartment, part of her split
got divorced.
from her husband.
That was kind of a bummer.
But with her dog Mazzy still by her side, something else happened too. That GoFundMe 1 year ago topped out near $100,000. Enough
And it's also magnetized, so that helps me.
for the helping hand she was asking for.
Let me see.
In fact,
This one goes on this arm, so it's this one.
enough for 2.
I'm right-handed, and I'm waving to you. Every penny made the difference. Every penny. And people don't realize it was such a blessing. Been such a crazy journey from when it all started.
A journey-
If you want to see the actual hand, I can take this covering off. Come on, there we go.
That has her learning how to handle her sometimes difficult life again.
Come on. There we go.
Retraining her brain to make each finger move independently.
I can do an okay sign and a finger pointer. I promise I can.
And she promises that complete strangers
This is great.
have completely changed her life.
It's good to know that there's still good people. And people care. And because people care, I'm able to live a little better in the world. And that's just a remarkable thing.
Oh, and there's one more remarkable thing.
The best part of the year was when
His name is Colt.
all I gotta do is look at a picture of him, and it just makes it better.
Wendy
Became a grandma.
is known as Gigi now. Another reason to hold on to the not always cruel life she's been given.
Some of the things that I went through, I think, will break a human. I almost had the okay sign. It did almost break me in the beginning, but show me that I'm a fighter. I'm stronger than what I knew.
Stronger because a pair of bionic hands have given her hope for her own future, and the kind gesture of strangers given her hope for the rest of us too.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
And the public made it possible.
In Corsicana,
I will forever be thankful and blessed.
I'm Kevin Reece.
We haven't put the sign up, you know, with the name of the patio.
To have a restaurant succeed,
5 o'clock somewhere. That's what it says on the sign.
an owner like Mary Vasquez sweats every detail.
I like to get out of that hot kitchen.
No job too hot or too small.
I love doing the silverware because I can sit down for a
But each day on her way to work, a bigger problem she could not solve. The Fort Worth corner of Summit and I-30, the same weathered and begging faces every day.
bit. I always rolled the window down. I always gave him money. I never passed him and not gave him anything. I always gave him something.
That someone
2 to 3 hours every day.
was a guy
Yeah.
named Mike.
I could just feel people's disapproval. It takes a toll on anybody. It's very stressful. It's very humiliating.
Humiliated and homeless.
You turn your back on anything, it's gone.
He lived in nearby Trinity Park.
Homeless people get killed or found dead out on the streets pretty much every day.
But each day, if he wanted to live, wanted to eat, he'd become one of those guys with one of those cardboard signs.
I did not like holding that cardboard sign at that highway ramp. It's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. In the back of my mind, nobody's gonna help me. Nobody, no, you're a piece of crap, you know. And while I was standing there thinking that, looking at the ground, the lady honked her horn. And
He had his sign. He always had a smile, though.
Mary Vasquez
He always had a smile, and I thought,
made him an offer.
I said, here's some money, and would you like to work? Do you need a job? Would you work? He came the very next day. He rode a bicycle.
Mike Stewart is now
some tables, I clean back there.
the busiest busboy and
Whatever,
dishwasher
you know, if we get real busy, everybody just kind of
at Mary
you know,
Vasquez's Enchiladas Ole.
make a round trip all together in probably less than 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
Sometimes working
Aww.
side by side.
Were you last night working with the band?
Uh-huh.
And that was a year and a half ago. And he's never missed. He's never missed. He loves working, and we love having him. Yeah, he's working.
But Mike was still homeless. Life in the park still challenging.
Oh, he folded me up like a pretzel, like origami. Oh man, he beat the crap out of me.
Until the next offer, Fort Worth Housing Solutions and a roof over his head.
Oh, it's been a long time, actually, a place of my own.
An apartment of his own for the first time in 15 years.
And I've got it made. This is a blessing.
Mary, however, thought he needed one blessing more. The gift of an electric scooter came at Christmas. The hardest working man in Fort Worth is now always at work on time.
Oh man, it touches my heart, man. I don't know, I'm very thankful. Shoot, it means I'm starting to feel like a person again.
People are people. Whether they're homeless or they're ex-offenders, they're people. It's a soul. And that's what we want, is to be able to help people to have a normal life.
A person, a human, got a little bit of dignity.
There are more than 2,000 people living on the streets of Fort Worth. Mike believes his days on his old corner are officially over.
It's hard talking about it kind of now.
Back at his new apartment, a painting over his bed reminds him how those days came to an end.
Everybody needs some help sometimes, a hand up.
A hand up from someone who took a chance with a serving of hope on her menu too.
You're wonderful.
In Fort Worth, I'm Kevin Reece.
It's gonna make me blush.
Oh, you're wonderful, sweetheart.
There are 40,000 or so people in Hurst, Texas, 40,000 or so stories.
I always felt like an oddball.
Stephanie Meyer didn't know hers was one.
Never did I question.
That might prove difficult to tell.
Even though I felt different, I just thought I was a little bit weird.
A weird childhood with an awkward mix of good memories and bad. Until nearing her 44th birthday and a DNA test kit.
In a conversation with my mom, she told me my results might be surprising.
Ancestry DNA proved her mom right. Her dad was not her biological dad.
I mean, I was definitely in shock.
Someone else was.
That's when my brain completely fell to pieces. I broke. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm extra fragile. But it completely undid me.
This was different. This was
250 miles away in Cypress, Texas.
Oh my God, my world crumbled.
Paulette Bethel's world was coming undone too.
That it took about 90 seconds for my world as I knew it to blow up.
She knew she was multicultural. Her home celebrates that fact. But the DNA test kit at age 66 proved half of her life had also been a lie.
Absolutely, for me, blew up my sense of who I thought I was. For months, I cried nonstop. You know, I had a story. This changed my story.
Both women were now in a club they didn't really care to be in. DNA NPE is what science calls them, DNA not parent expected. Paulette Bethel's dad
I was still devastated.
was also not her biological dad.
This is not just grief. This is trauma. This is identity trauma.
But when Paulette Googled this phrase, surely I cannot be the only person that's going through this, she found the NPE Network, a support group in Texas, now some 16,000 strong.
This is me.
People with stories just like hers.
Oh my God, this is true.
She did find a new extended family. They've accepted her, but want their privacy respected. And Paulette's parents have passed. There are answers she will never get from her mom.
In this life, I won't know.
There is a happier connection. Back in Hearst.
Can you see me?
Hey, Pop. Yes, can you see me?
I can. You look beautiful.
Stephanie found Jim Parsons in Arizona, her biological dad. Did it take long to put two and two together?
Not for me.
After a relationship with Stephanie's mom all those years ago, he never knew Stephanie existed. Stephanie's mom kept that secret to herself.
I think that was an honorable, noble choice.
It felt like a blessing.
A blessing now that brought Stephanie a new family and new siblings who have welcomed her with open arms.
I always wanted a daughter. I couldn't be happier.
Even though it was really hard to discover, I would not pack Pandora's box back up.
But I want to know my story.
And even though the Pandora's box opened in Cypress, Texas, has not been as kind to Paulette.
I'm not who I thought I was.
She is also a trained trauma counselor and coach. She's now helping others get through days just like this.
When you were asking if I'm okay, my life finally makes sense.
A sense of self
This was our first cruise together.
slowly being pieced back together.
I'm just really thankful. I make a lot more sense now that I really know who I am.
And in an era of unexpected DNA surprises, that's all that any Paulette or Stephanie really wants to know.
Yes.
Okay, bye, Pop.
Bye.
In Hearst, Texas, I'm Kevin Reece.